Let's welcome Mary Kay Cabot to the show. How you doing today, Mary Kay?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Doing good.
Happy holidays.
Man, are you surprised, Mary Kay, by all of the back and forth in that Mayor Bibb actually invoked the Modell Law? I guess whatever it's called. I'm not sure it's a law. It's just kind of like the stipulation. Are you kind of surprised that he went that far?
No, it seems like it was heading this way. The city's ready to put up a little bit of a fight and try to keep those Cleveland Browns downtown some way. I think that the Browns are probably a little bit surprised that it came to this. I don't think they really anticipated that it was going to be the battle and the fight that it has become. And it is unfortunate. I mean, we all lived through what happened with the Browns when they moved to Baltimore, and it's really unfortunate right now. This is happening because this should be an exciting time for the city, and it looks like it's going to be a legal entanglement. And you don't want the city and the Browns to end up at odds and to have all these hard feelings. And they are so committed to this Brook Park plan. They are not giving up on it. They are not budging off of that in any way, shape, or form. And who knows where this is all going to go.
This is a little off track. But when the Browns did leave, you were covering the team prior to that, correct?
Yes.
What did you do in the 4 years when the Browns left? Like, did you just hang out? Like, did you cover a different team? What did you do?
Well, that's a great question. I always like to say I wasn't very productive during those years, but I was reproductive during those years. I had my 3 children, or most of my 3 children during those years. I think 2 of them while the Browns were out of town, and then my 3rd one I had after the Browns were back. But I took 1 full year off with my son and spent that whole year with him, which was great. And then I took another bunch of time off when I had my daughter. So it really actually timed up perfectly. And, I kept busy doing other things because there was still news regarding what was happening with the Browns and when were they coming back and all those kinds of things. So there was enough to keep you busy. But I really built my family during those years.
That's awesome.
Good times. Mary Kay, let me ask you about the injuries. Obviously I seen that they put Cedric Tillman on IR with the concussion. You lost a ton of players this season. G. New, JOK, Cedric Tillman. I seen Denzel go out last game with like a shoulder injury. Are these injuries concerns for the future? Is any of those like something that you're worried about that can linger into maybe OTAs?
Well, first of all, let's start with Cedric Tillman's concussion. The fact that he had to miss 6 games with this concussion, I think that is something that you have to consider for next season because he was off to a great start. And if a guy gets into a concussion situation where they have to miss a bunch of games like that, you never know what's going to happen with the next one. Now, you've got a guy like Denzel Ward. He has had 6 concussions, but he never misses games with them. And everyone's different. You have to get back to your baseline, and you've got the independent neurologist that is involved with this whole thing. So you never really know. But if he's the type of person that it's hard for him to clear the concussion protocol, they have to take that into account next season. Because once you do have a concussion, I do believe that it's easier to get your next one. So that one, when I saw this today, I was thinking, that's something that they're really, really going to have to take into some serious account. I'm sure Denzel will be fine by next year. Shoulder injury, has to undergo some kind of a procedure. He should be fine for next season. I don't think too many of them are a concern for next season, except for maybe JOK. And we've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. It's a neck injury. It's hard to predict. It's not an exact science when you're trying to come back from a neck injury. You have to wait for either a nerve damage to heal or a bone to heal or something like that. We don't know the details of the injury. What we do know is that he is still, as Jason Tarver told us last week, traveling around, trying to figure things out, getting answers. And so he really is someone that I think that they're going to have to look to for next season and hope he can get back on the field healthy as soon as possible. That's what everyone hopes about JOK. He was off to a Pro Bowl season. He's a great player. And they might have to, find another linebacker in the event that it takes him a little time to get back on the field.
Mary Kay, this weekend, the Browns do have a game to play. I don't know that many people care much about the game, including maybe all of us.
But I care.
But we're gonna talk. You're on the payroll. Who's gonna play quarterback this week, Mary Kay?
It's a good question. We have Kevin Stefanski coming up at 11:45, and that's when we might get the answer to that. I'm guessing that we probably will. He'll probably tell us then, I would think. And I wrote a column after the game saying that they should go ahead and start Bailey Zappi. I think they've seen enough of what Dorian Thompson-Robinson can do for them this season. I don't know that it's prudent to put him out there against the Baltimore Ravens in a game where they are 18-point underdogs. You know they're not going into Baltimore to win this game, and sometimes a young quarterback's confidence can get shattered in a situation like that. He doesn't need that right now. They don't need that right now. See something else, let another guy play, and let Dorian come back and see if he can't show the Browns some things again next season. And that's what I would do. I don't know if Kevin's going to do that, but that would be my strategy.
Mary Kay, over the weekend, Mike Vrabel's agreement with the Browns came to an end. He's now available to interview for any available head coaching vacancy. Can you give us a little insight and information on what Mike Vrabel did during his tenure in one short year with the Cleveland Browns?
He helped out with the draft. I know he was instrumental in helping them decide on a player like Mike Hall Jr., who looks like he's going to be a good player for them. You see him there racing Jameis Winston from drill to drill. He was very hands-on. He got very, very physical while he was out there working with the tight ends, working with the offensive linemen. He was fun to watch coach. I mean, he was really, really fun to watch coach, as you can see right there. I mean, he was just so active, so physical, so involved. He instilled, I think, a lot of toughness in these guys. He coached with a lot of tough love. I heard a lot of F-bombs flying around out there. As the season went along, he got more and more involved with the offensive line. He kind of went wherever he was needed, and they did need him on that offensive line. It was a tough year to come back from not having Bill Callahan, the Hall of Fame, basically, offensive line coach. So I think he made a huge impact on his hometown team. And I predict that when he gets his next head coaching job, that he's going to look back to this season very fondly and realize that, it helped him stay involved. It helped him stay active. And then I think he probably learned a lot of things, too.
Mary Kay, Browns, they're going to end up with three wins. Right now, as we stand, they're the number 3 pick in the draft, and we didn't expect them to get a top 3 pick. Thank you for the Giants for doing what they did, going out there just messing it up for everybody, for themselves. But the great part about it is, those 3 wins are going to get us a top 3 pick. With that being said, there's a lot of holes on the roster. The quarterback room is shaky. I would say it's more than shaky. It's kind of bad. It's kind of trash, like low-key. If you have a top 3 pick and one of those quarterbacks are on the board, can the Cleveland Browns afford not to pull the trigger on a quarterback in this draft?
No, not at all. And I might even write a column about that today. No, there's no way that they can afford to do that. You have to take a quarterback. That's just my bottom line on that. And for me, that's just non-negotiable. It doesn't matter what else is there. You have to take a chance on a quarterback. Why? Because you don't anticipate picking this high again anytime soon. I think they want to get back to winning as soon as possible. And I would go out and find the best one of those quarterbacks, and I would draft him with whatever pick you have up there in the top 3.
If you're listening, Earl, go ahead and clip that. Get that boy ready for the internet.
Just out of curiosity, Mary, have you seen the 2, Cam and Shador? Do you have one that you lean more towards?
No, I haven't had a chance to start studying those guys yet. I haven't really seen enough of them to say which one I would like, but now is when I will go into my due diligence on all of these guys and try to figure out which one I like the best. And again, my track record isn't horrible on this sort of thing. I identified Josh Allen as the quarterback that I would have taken in 2018. I was pretty vocal about that.
Yep.
I wrote about that. And, whenever I had a chance to talk to anybody in the organization, I would tell them the same thing, that was the guy that I thought they should take. Now, they did not listen to me. Okay, it wasn't the first time they haven't listened to me on these things, but just kind of kidding around about that. But so I'm eager to dig in and do my due diligence, and it includes a lot of different things, not just a little bit of a lot of the film watching, but it's talking to a lot of people. I remember back then I talked to Josh Allen's position coach. I talked to his quarterback guru in Jordan Palmer. There's a lot of things. I talked to him at the Senior Bowl, got to know him a little bit, watched how he handled himself there as opposed to Baker, who I can't remember. I don't know if you remember, Dustin, but he didn't handle himself well at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Or maybe you saw it differently than I did.
Didn't he like leave early or arrive late or something, and then said it was his mom?
Yeah, he left at
I remember
halftime.
that. Yeah.
He left at halftime. He did not handle the media stuff well.
Yeah, no, he didn't. You're right.
He just didn't act like a pro, but Josh Allen sure did. And now Baker's come up off the mat, and he's really doing some great things. But so it's going to be interesting to see where this whole thing goes.
If you say that, then you might want Shador over Cam then, because Cam left at halftime of his last game. Mary Kay, let me ask you this. What's one Browns player that you watched this season that you thought, hey, you know what, I'm excited to see him next season?
One that really does come to mind very quickly is Mike Hall Jr. He didn't play very much,
Bucks.
right? Because he was suspended for the first 5 games, and then he suffered a knee injury. But when he did get in there, I thought he played very well and flashed that explosiveness that they were hoping to see from him. So he is someone that I think they can get excited about for next year.
Mary Kay, we appreciate your insight, and hopefully you give us the right pick at quarterback. I will give you credit for that. You were all over Josh Allen, and we we missed on that, but hopefully we get it right this time. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Happy New Year, guys.